And welcome to the Burger and Badass Show. We are back to do our thing again, like we do every Wednesday night. And man, you know what today is, Badass?
I don't know, like Wednesday.
No, I know it's Wednesday because we do our show every Wednesday. I wake up in the morning, I take my morning piss, and then I say, guess what? We do our show again tonight. And I get excited.
Yeah. Oh, it's the 12th show.
There you go, our Dirty Dozen show.
It's the Dirty Dozen. Yes.
12 shows. Can you believe it?
Yes, I can.
Can't believe it. You know what we deserve?
You know what we deserve?
I think we deserve a round of applause.
I do think so. I think we deserve a round of applause.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you. Job well done.
Thank you.
Pat on the back.
Thank you. Yep, it is our official 12th show, and we have a lot going on this week. A lot. Yeah, again, I know I see this every week going into the show, but this week we have a lot more to talk about again. We did our research this week. Found a lot going on in college football. I want to get into it, but first thing I want to talk about is I have great news for everybody. Badass, I have finally found the editing software that is going to break through for the Burger and Badass Show.
You finally found it?
I found it. It's called Filmora. Go to Filmora.com. It's a real easy setup. It doesn't take a genius. You could do it, Badass. And I know you're not real electronic inclined, but, you know, I
Fair
think...
enough. I mean, the man's right. I do hate technology.
Yeah, I know you do. How many times have you thrown your phone?
Too many to count.
Yeah, I know. But... I'm telling you guys, it has two modes. Easy mode, it has a mode for you, Badass. And then it has a mode for me that, you know, I've done this a little bit with college. The more technical one that you can do a lot more stuff with. It's really cool. You put transitions in there, fade in, fade out. You can put music behind your collages and stuff. It's an awesome setup. And I'm telling you.
So does this mean that we're getting ready to do, are we getting ready to go, what was that?
I think we're going to go, what was that, Bill O'Reilly?
We'll do it live! Fuck it! Do it live!
Hell yeah, I'm with it. Let's do it live.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
That's what I'm screaming.
So, we're definitely going to be moving up here soon. I have our last show edited and ready to go. I'm probably going to be trying to upload that tonight when I get done the show. And I'm excited because...
Are they ready for it?
I think they got to be ready for it.
Are they ready?
They got to be now.
I know we're ready.
I'm ready.
I was ready yesterday morning when I put on my pants and went to work. I mean, I was born ready. Hell, I come out the womb with a beard going like, I was ready, son. You ready?
I was ready when I was 16 years old. I woke up in the morning and I pissed excellence like shit awesomeness.
Are they ready?
I think they're ready.
I think they're ready.
So, guys, just be patient. We're going to get into it. And we're going to get you guys up on our Facebook page, Burger and Badass Show, at Facebook.com, and our YouTube page, The Burger and Badass Show. Just go to either one, check us out, tell us what you guys think, give your opinions, and
drop us some hate if you want to. We don't care, believe me. I take all the hate. Bring it all to me. If you want to drop us some love, we'll take some love too, but I have a feeling it's going to be a whole lot of hate because there's a whole lot of snowflakes out there about to get their ass melt. So, hey, bring it. Either way, we're gonna dig it either way.
So let's go ahead and jump into some of the big things that happened this week. First thing I wanted to talk about was all the coaching moves around this week.
There was a lot of different coaching moves. I have to say, there was it's not shocking because at the end of every season you have a shakeup. Some of it I didn't see coming. The big one that we'll talk about later, that one was I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely didn't see that one coming, and the Texas move, we kind of saw that coming.
Oh, no, that was from a mile away. That was a given. That was absolutely a given. Charlie Strong was on his way out the door when the season started. Everybody who was knowing what is going on in Texas football, the whole state of Texas, not just the Longhorn program, but the state of Texas, everyone understood that if Houston had a really good year and Texas went pretty much where they were going to go, and everyone knew it was a 6-6 at best, they knew it was going to be Tom Herman. He's got to come in and save the Longhorns because that's who they wanted. And they, let's be honest, they were high on Charlie Strong when they first hired him, but that honeymoon was quickly over.
And to quote LeBron James, who I hate to have to quote, but Charlie Strong is taking his talents to South Beach.
Yeah, that he is. He is taking his talents to South Beach.
He's going to USF.
And that's not actually a bad fit for him.
It's not.
It really isn't.
Because he has a lot of good players around that team that could do stuff.
And he can recruit that area.
And recruit that area. And I think he's going to do pretty well down in South Beach.
See, I think he's more suited for success in South Florida than he is in Texas.
I definitely agree. In Texas, you got to admit, Texas is a hard place
That's,
to coach a football team.
you know, it used to be the dream job. That's where you wanted to go to coach because of the prestige. But I said it weeks ago, and I'll say it again. Mac Brown took a huge, steaming shit on Texas, and he left. And I mean, where have y'all been since? I'll wait. You know, that's echoes. That's what I'm hearing because y'all have been nothing. I mean, he did what? One championship with y'all? I mean, come on. You're Texas. You're supposed to be in the fucking mix every year. Like, there shouldn't be a question about that. Y'all should be in it every year, and you're not. Hell, you're not even the best team in your state.
All right, so let's go ahead and jump into some of the changes that happened over this past couple weeks. At Baylor, we have Art Briles is out. He was 65-37. He's also the former Houston coach and Texas Tech assistant coach. In Matt Rule, former Temple head coach and longtime assistant, with 28-23 over there. I mean, not a real big change for them. Get one coach out, bring another one in. Temple, of course, you know, they had their big upset win last week, but other than that, they've had a dismal season this year. So, you know, you have the former Temple head coach coming in and taking over where Art Briles was. Do you think this is a good move by Baylor, or do you think they could have went somewhere else for another coach?
Honestly, don't think anybody wants to coach at Baylor right now. I mean, think about it. Baylor's been on the upswing for a couple of years. Their program's been really good, and they've actually been making noise. But they have so much scandal going on down there right now that they're just driving people away.
Nobody wants to go there to play football.
That's what I mean. You had a lot of recruits decommitted. You have a lot of people pulling money. It's not a good situation, man.
Nobody wants to coach the team.
No, that's why you had to go get the guy from Temple. You hired the guy from Temple. I mean, it's a step up for him. It's a step down for you.
Yep. So the next move I wanted to talk about, we have an old coach coming back and trying his helm at being a head coach again. Florida International University. Ron Turner is out. He finished 10-30 over his career, and he was a former Illinois head coach. In a guy that I know, old Butch Davis, college career 79-43, of course, former Miami coach, North Carolina coach, and the Cleveland Browns head coach, which I wouldn't be proud of, but
honestly, you shouldn't be proud of anything he's done since he left Miami.
No.
What he did in Miami was a good thing. Ever since then, you can forget it. And I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, he's been out of the game for a while. Things have changed. Now, not to say that he couldn't come back and do it, but the odds are against him. I'm just saying, Florida International, you made a good hire. Step up for you. Butch Davis, step up for you too, I guess, because your ass was in retirement. So, on to the next one.
All right, next one is Fresno State. Out Tim DeRuyter. Finished 30-30, and he's former Texas A&M and Air Force defensive coordinator. In Jeff Tefford. Had a college career of 82-57. He's the former Cal head coach, and he was a former Tampa Bay Buccaneers offensive coordinator and a Washington Redskins staffer. You're bringing a guy in that has experience working with the NFL and working at a pretty good school in Cal.
Think about it. California has been a team, whereas they're not going to really make serious noise because they are California. They're not USC, they're not Stanford, but make no mistake, California can compete because I know a lot of teams go up to their house and they think they're going to get a win, and it ain't that easy. California has been an up and coming program, whereas they used to get blown out by double and double digits. It just used to be pretty bad for them. Now it's not so bad, and that's because they got a good head coach. And now that he's coming over to take over the helm, things are probably going to get better. Well, that's what I would tend to think anyway.
Yeah, we'll see as the season goes on next year.
Yeah, it's not a given.
It's not a given, but that'd be one of those ones you'd like to put a star by and remember Fresno State and see how they do next year to see how he makes out going as a head coach again.
It seems like there will be a culture change if he was in the NFL because that's going to be some of that NFL toughness.
I definitely agree. So, next one I want to talk about is Georgia State. Trent Miles is out at Georgia State. He had a dismal 9-38 record at Georgia State. He's a former Indiana State head coach and NFL Power Top 5 position coach. In Sean Elliott, former South Carolina interim and offensive line coach at Appalachian State.
I, being a Clemson man, can tell you from experience that I know Sean Elliott. He's not a bad coach. He's not. I mean, he's been on some dismal squads. I mean, you can't help it when times are good, like it was for Carolina a while ago. They were good, and then now they're really bad again. And I had to say, the man's been there under both of those terms, so he knows how to win, and he also knows what losing's like, which comes experience, which might not be a bad move. I mean, I have faith that he may go on to do better things. I mean, South Carolina wasn't going to be able to hold on to him forever because he is talented.
So you think this is a good move by Georgia State?
I do. I honestly do. I think Georgia State's going to get a quality coach out of this, and a lot of people think, oh, well, he's just a coordinator. We'll see. And that's, by the by, you're right. Odds are he's not going to do good, but I think he is. I think he's going to shock everybody, and he's going to actually have a winning program down there at Georgia State.
All right, so the next one we want to talk about is one of the big ones. Houston, out. Tom Herman finished 22-4. Of course, he's moving on to Texas, as we talked about earlier. And they decided that instead of going out looking for a coach, they wanted to promote within the organization.
The coolest name ever.
I'm telling you, this is an awesome name. When I heard this name, I was like, man, I like that name. I would want to name my kid Major Applewhite.
Major Applewhite. It rolls off the tongue.
It does. He's actually the offensive coordinator. He's actually going to get a chance to come up and see what he can do as a head coach.
Well, think about it. Houston's whole scheme is all offense, so that obviously he knows it because he's the one implementing it. So, hey, Houston might just be clicking right on. You never know. Everyone's like, oh, God, they just lost Tom Herman. Watch him fall off. Watch him get better. You never know. Everyone's betting against him, but watch the program get better.
I could definitely see him getting better. I mean, he can't get any worse.
They've got recruits coming in. I mean, between them and Texas A&M, they own the state of Texas in recruiting right now. If anybody ain't been paying attention, like Longhorns, you ain't recruiting shit. Baylor, you're not recruiting shit. You know, the rink dinks go to fucking Texas Tech. You know, be a Red Raider. I mean, who the fuck wants to be one of those clowns?
Yeah. The only time Texas Tech was good was back in college basketball when they brought the man, the myth, the legend in.
Yeah, I know.
That's the last time Texas Tech has been relevant.
Well, that's what I mean. And like TCU, they're not relevant anymore like they used to be. It's just seems to me that all the power right now resides with Houston and Texas A&M. They're the ones that are recruiting.
All right, so the next one I want to talk about is Indiana. Out. Kevin Wilson finished career there 26-47. He was a former Oklahoma and Northwestern offensive coordinator. In Tom Allen, former Indiana USF defensive coordinator and Ole Miss linebacker coach. So they go from Kevin Wilson, who looked like he really struggled in Indiana, which I mean we've said this all year long. Indiana's a basketball school.
You don't go to Indiana to play football.
You don't go to Indiana to play football. If you go play football around anywhere near there, You're going to Nebraska, you're going to Wisconsin, you're going to one of the
Ohio
bigger schools.
State.
Ohio State.
Definitely not Indiana.
Yeah, definitely not Indiana.
Unless your name is Scrubby McScrubberson.
But they decided to get rid of Kevin Wilson, bringing in Tom Allen, who was, a former defensive coordinator and a linebacker coach, bringing like a defensive guy in to a program that's, like we said, they've struggled all year. I don't see them this being any kind of improvement. It doesn't look like they really are trying to push themselves to become a good
hire.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like they're really doing much to push themselves to become a big squad.
Right. This is we're just gonna keep breaking even.
Get rid of one piece of shit to bring in another piece of shit.
Still a piece of shit.
Exactly. So, I think Indiana, they just status quo. They didn't really go out and look for anybody big. They're like ho hum.
And they're not going to. I mean,
our football squad sucks. Our football squad sucks. We're a basketball school right now. We have a team in basketball that's probably going to go to the Final Four again.
And that's all they care about out there anyway. I mean, last time you go to Indiana, no one gave a shit about the football game. It's all basketball there. It's like Kansas. Go out to Kansas. You don't find football players out there. Very rarely you'll find some good ones, but it's all basketball.
Yeah.
You don't go to Kansas to play football.
No. You don't go to Kentucky to play football either.
No.
You go to Kentucky to play basketball.
You can, but
you're not going to win much.
No.
Maybe a game or two.
Maybe.
Yeah. All right, so the next one we've actually kind of went over a little bit this year. LSU out is Les Miles, finished 114-34. Of course, former Oklahoma State head coach, offensive coordinator, and power top 5 offensive line coach. Ed Orgeron is in, and he's already been 5-2 at LSU and 21-29 in career. A former LSU USC interim coach and an Ole Miss head coach. So they decided to officially promote him to the head coaching position. When they got rid of Les Miles in the middle of the season, I guess they kind of decided, okay, we're going to give him that trial run, see how he does. And apparently he's done pretty good so far. 5-2 since Les Miles left. Not too bad.
Yeah, Ed Orgeron's not a bad guy. He is an LSU guy. He just seems to be in all these weird positions because I don't think this is the first time this has happened to him. Did he not coach at USC?
Yes.
And did he not take over the program when Lane Kiffin when he got fired off the bus?
Yep.
That's what I mean. This man just seems to happen upon these situations. It's fucking crazy. But he is liked down there. I mean, personally, LSU, I'll go ahead and say this. I think you're fucking stupid. I know that you got mad because the Hat was losing some close games and he couldn't quite beat, Alabama and Nick Saban. But then again, who the fuck can beat Alabama and Nick Saban other than Urban Meyer and Ohio State here recently? I mean, you fired a really damn good head coach, and honestly, you're not going to strike lightning twice here. This isn't going to be in a bottle for you. Ed Orgeron is going to be not status quo, a little bit better, but he is not taking you to a playoff. You're going to remain under Bama's shoe if you keep him. You needed to go for an all-out hire. You need an offensive-minded coach because if you look at the kind of offenses that beat the big bad boys like Bama and Clemson and Michigan and Ohio State, all these big hitters, the only thing they can't stop is a fucking mobile quarterback who has nasty receivers. Everything's moving to offense, and you had a chance to get a coach, and you didn't. You just hired Ed Orgeron and just made it easy on yourselves, and you fired the best coach you've had ever. I mean...
Now, where I agree with you on the fact that they firing Les Miles was stupid. I agree with that as far as that. But I think hiring on Orgeron as the now head coach, I think it's not a bad choice because he was a guy who took Alabama to the limit and only allowed Alabama to score 10 points and has an impressive 5-2 record since taking over as head coach. So I think, granted, Les Miles I think has been on his way out for the last couple of years.
Oh yeah, no doubt about
I mean,
that.
they've had their gripes. He's had their gripes with the alumni, and I think that at this point they were just looking for a reason to get rid of him.
I understand that. The only thing I'm saying is you have to have hindsight view on this and say we're firing a guy that has a 73 to 75% winning record. You know what? Who you gonna go out and get? You gonna hire Nick Saban away from Bama? I mean, good fucking luck.
That's not going to happen. You're gonna take Dabo from
Clemson.
Clemson?
Good luck.
Yeah, not going to happen.
That's what I'm saying. Like I think y'all jumped the gun by doing that. I think y'all should have lined up a massively awesome hire and then you fire Les Miles. You don't let him go and then just say, "Up, Ed Orgeron, you're our savior." I mean, you can do that, but now you don't have the recruiting power like Les Miles had. And Ed Orgeron is going to be able to recruit Louisiana. Don't even twist that for a second. But he is not Les Miles. You have to think long term what you're doing to your program here.
I agree with you on that part. I do agree with you on that part as far as firing Les Miles was the old cliche of cutting off your nose to spite your face.
Knee-jerk reaction.
And I think it was just the alumni who were grumbling. They were pissed off about something that Les Miles did, or they just didn't like him, and they had a problem with him. And then it got to the point where they just looked for a reason to start griping to the college to get rid of him. And I think it was just a matter of time before they got rid of him. But in the same sense, I think hiring Ed Orgeron is the second best thing they could have done. I mean, they could have went for a big name coach and brought him in, but then the coach would have to turn around and try to, learn the players and learn the plays and learn different stuff and try to teach everything to everybody. And it's a learning experience for that. Whereas Orgeron's already been at the helm for half of the year. He's going to take them to a bowl game. We'll see how they do. And then, you know what? Next year, if he's going to become the head coach, let's give him a whole year. Let him try a whole year. He did great half a year. Give him a whole year and let's see how he does.
I see your logic. It is sound.
So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. We have Nevada. Who cares? But out is Brian Polian. Finished 23-27. He was a former Texas A&M, Stanford, Notre Dame special team coach. In Jay Norville, former Arizona State assistant coach, Oklahoma co-offensive coordinator, and longtime assistant elsewhere, it says. Don't know much about Nevada.
I mean, this is one of those things where it's like, who really gives a shit? It's Nevada. And this isn't like Boise State made a hire or USC made a hire. Somewhere out in the West where it's actually meaningful, like, oh shit, did you see what Washington did? Like, it's Nevada.
Yeah. So I mean, they're like kind of like what the other team was, what we were talking about earlier. That basically they got rid of a piece of shit and they brought in another piece of shit.
Because they can't do any better.
Because they can't do much better because they're going to be the team that's going to sit at the bottom of the division and not really give two shits.
And that's the thing. When you are on that low end of the totem pole, what decision do you really have?
Not much at all. I mean, who wants to come to Nevada and coach football?
Fuck nobody.
Especially when there's big name colleges out there that are looking for head coaches.
Actually, I apologize if there is somebody out there named fuck nobody, because then you're going to get a call from them. So I apologize for that.
Yeah. So now let's get back to one of the bigger name schools. We have Oregon. Out is Mark Helfrich. Finished 37-16. Former Oregon offensive coordinator. In Willie Taggart, 40-45. Former USF, Western Kentucky head coach, and Stanford running back coach. I'm a little curious about this one. I mean, I know Oregon has struggled and they're not the program they used to be.
No, they're not.
But in the same sense, 37-16 is not a bad record.
It's not, but to be quite honest with you here, my opinion of Oregon is that they've used up their talent. They've sucked the well dry. You know, when they had all that talent they were recruiting and they had all those fast players, and then they got those new jerseys and they started shocking, awing everybody in those fucking new jerseys, and they were so fast. And look at that. When they were that fast and good, they still matched up against SEC teams in their championship games. And what happened? Oh, yeah, the SEC team won. So, I mean, they used up that whole deep well, and they didn't get nothing for it. And all that money that was poured into that program hadn't really amounted to shit because they're on the downslope. They're on the way back to being that unknown little weird school out there that likes to wear green and is obsessed with fucking ducks. You know what? Go Oregon State. Fuck Oregon. I'm going with those Beavers, man.
You always gotta go with the Beavers.
I ride in Corvallis. Fuck Eugene.
Wow. All right, so I have two more I want to talk about real quick before we move on to our next topic. We have San Jose State. Ron Carregar, 19-30, former San Diego head coach and Kentucky UCLA position coach. And Brent Brennan, former Oregon State wide receiver coach and San Jose State offense coordinator. Again, another no-name school that's going to continue to be shitty because they don't think outside the box and go with a bigger head coach to try to bring a program in.
Maybe there's no box to think outside of. I mean, these motherfuckers aren't necessarily rich and loaded schools.
No, they're not. I mean, they're not a Clemson. They're not a Alabama. They're not a Tennessee. They're not a Florida. They're not Virginia Tech. They're not West Virginia.
They can't make.
I can go on for a while. Penn State. Even Maryland. Maryland has more prestige than San Jose State.
Fair enough. Maryland can get a better coach than them, and they suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I say we just go ahead and move on from this one. That's three schools right there we did in a row that
really are not interesting to anyone.
They're not interesting, but we have to talk about it because it is a coaching change.
We apologize to all the alumni and all the fans of these small schools out there that are listening to us make fun of you. Be good sports about it. No one gives a fuck about your programs. But we're talking about you anyway. Be delighted. Be merry. It's fucking
Be
Christmas.
happy we even said your name.
Right. We didn't have to. We could have just
we could have talked about the 5 big coaching changes and when to moved on.
Right.
Next topic.
We could have talked about the weather, the fucking price of tea in China, but we decided to talk about you.
So be happy that we even talked about you guys. All right, so the last one I want to talk about, and this is a big one. Florida Atlantic. Charlie Partridge is out, 9-27, dismal, horrible. Former Wisconsin, Arkansas defensive line coach. In, surprised, Lane Kiffin, 35-21 career, former Alabama offensive coordinator, which he actually is still with the program as we speak.
Right.
And I do want to talk about that here in a second. And former USC, Tennessee, and Raiders coach, of the head coach.
Well, here's what I'm going to say about this. When he was a head coach at USC, that didn't end up so well. When he was a head coach at Tennessee, that didn't end up so well. Nick Saban allowed him to be the offensive coordinator, and apparently, even though he's already won a championship, a national championship with them, and quite possibly could win another, he's going to leave. So, obviously that means Nick Saban can't fucking stand his ass. So, all I got to say is, it was Florida International that give you a shot because we have USC and Tennessee, which are historied programs, big-time programs in college football. And then you have Florida International. Lottie fucking da. He gets to be a head coach again. I mean...
Now this raises the big question for me. My big question is, now that Lane Kiffin's out at Alabama, he's the offensive coordinator at Alabama right now.
Correct.
Now that he's out, he is staying on as offensive coordinator through their playoff run to a championship.
Correct.
Do you think this is going to have any big ramifications to Alabama in their playoff run?
No, and here's why. When Alabama recruits people, they recruit grown men who are already like coming out of high school, and they make sure that you're mentally prepared. I mean, you got to remember when they recruit, Nick Saban tells them, "We want you, but we don't need you." Do keep that in mind. We want you to come with us and win, but make no mistake, we don't need you. And that's because they're a monster program, and they have it upstairs in the head. You could tell them Nick Saban was fucking leaving at the end of the game. It wouldn't matter. The fact is this, those boys are groomed to win championships. They go to Alabama and Nick Saban to win fucking championships. I mean, they are pretty much on course to an undefeated championship season unless Ohio State or Clemson or Washington gets in their way. Only 3 teams can possibly stop them. I mean, let that sink in. These sons of bitches are a machine, dude.
Oh, they are. And I think, honestly, out of the 3 teams that they're going against, Clemson's got the best shot to give them a fight and win and beat them.
Make no mistake, every single team that goes against them, of those 3 I just named, will be underdogs. Bama will be the favorite in all those games, with the exception of possibly being, no, I'm not even going to say it, Bama being an underdog versus Ohio State. That even sounds wrong. It wouldn't happen. They'd be the favorite in every game.
Oh, yeah, definitely. They'd definitely be the favorite because, of course, they went undefeated.
I just like, when Alabama and underdog in the same sentence, it just makes my fucking head hurt. It's like an oxymoron.
It hasn't happened in how many years?
Oh, God, dude.
How long has Saban been coach there?
Alabama, Jesus Christ, they haven't been an underdog in a long time.
Even against rival games and big games that they went up against in the SEC, I think they've always been the favorite.
That's an interesting stat to look up. I might actually have to look that one up.
Yep. So, I also heard a little grumbling, too, that there's a possible rift between Kiffin and Saban. Do you think there's anything true to that about Nick Saban and Lane Kiffin not liking each other? And he's kind of happy he's going, maybe even bring in the guy that is going to replace him and make him do most of the play calling and kind of put Lane Kiffin off to the side and pretty much be the water boy.
I think Lane Kiffin was getting on his nerves, and I got an answer for you. Alabama went from 2009 to 2015 being the favorite in every game. They were an underdog versus Georgia in 2015, and they whipped Georgia's ass in that game, and they haven't been an underdog since.
Wow. That's crazy. I mean, I can't, there's no word for that.
I mean, all I can really say is when you hear that, it's just thud. Somebody just threw their dick on the table, and it wasn't a contest.
Yeah, I mean, you can't argue with it. Alabama's done what they've done because of what Nick Saban has brought to the program and recruiting and making sure that they're not doing what did they say a couple weeks ago? What did you say a couple weeks ago about they're not rebuilding?
They're reloading.
They're reloading, yes. I'm telling you.
Yeah, don't rebuild, reload.
And they reload. That's all they do at Alabama. They've reloaded for the last 6-7 years.
Like fucking bullets into a goddamn revolver, dudes. You better believe it.
All right. So one more thing, and this is just broke this morning. I heard it this morning on WCCP, one of the local stations here in South Carolina. Wake Forest is in trouble.
Yeah, they found themselves into a shitty little situation right here. Go ahead and tell the people out there who aren't really keen on this little area of the world what's going on in football.
So apparently, the broadcaster who used to be a former alumni and played quarterback at the Wake Forest, and with one of the coaching staffs that was on there that got fired, and when they reloaded and pretty much got rid of everybody on the coaching staff and just brought everybody new in. They got rid of everybody, and he ended up becoming the announcer for the team. So he apparently sold game plans and all the information about what Wake Forest was planning to do against Louisville. And now Louisville and Wake Forest are in hot water.
Yeah, he pretty much divulged all the information that he had. And I'd like to remind people that that game was a close game that Wake Forest was winning all the way into the fourth quarter, that was decided by literally Louisville breaking it open in the fourth quarter, because up until that point, it looked like Wake Forest was going to upset their asses. If I remember that game correctly, because that game was low scoring and ugly until Louisville broke it open.
Yeah, but Louisville definitely broke it open at the end.
And who's to say that these secrets weren't that? Who's to say that this information didn't lead to that? Because until they uncover it, we can only speculate.
And see, this is just breaking, so I don't know much about the whole situation. I just heard what I heard this morning on WCCP on the way to work. I was listening, and they just broke it on WCCP, and I found this interesting because what kind of levies are going to be thrown against Wake Forest and Louisville now that this happened? I mean, they're not going to do anything this year. You know, Louisville play in the bowl game, blah, blah, blah. But next year it could be really interesting to see what kind of fines or sanctions or stuff like that they're going to put towards the school.
Oh, somebody's in deep shit.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody's in deep shit. We know that. I mean, don't know how deep it goes, but somebody's ass is in some trouble, and somebody's program is fucked.
And do you think it's
kind of tarnishes that fucking Heisman, don't it?
And who's to blame here? I mean, Wake Forest is blamed because you have a guy that is giving away your information. But then you have Louisville that openly is like, yeah, sure.
I'll take it.
Here, hold on. There you go. There's the papers right there. There you go.
Hey, it takes two to tango.
It does. So I'm kind of interested to see how this plays out. We'll let you guys know throughout the next couple weeks what's going on with it. We might not find anything out really about it until maybe even next year after the bowl games.
There will be an investigation. If there's something to be uncovered, it will be uncovered. And it's just a matter of how deep does this go. Because on the surface, it looks like it could be a one-time thing, but who's to say this is a one-time thing? What happens if this is one of those instances where you just happen to get caught? You've been at this shit for a while.
Well, it's just like, I know it's hard to say this because it's not a sports analogy, but it's like the Cosby thing. You had one come out, and the next thing you know, all the women out of the woodworks comes out. Same as the Tiger Woods. There's a sports one for you.
And then you don't know
Tiger
what to
Woods,
believe.
You have, this Tiger had this mistress. The next thing you know, there's 10, 12, 16 mistresses that Tiger Woods had.
And you got a regular fucking Barnum and Bailey's on your hand.
Yeah, exactly. You have your crazy ass wife throwing clubs through your back window at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Elin fucking fleeced his ass, dude. Let me tell you, when she broke it down, she broke it down.
She's lucky she didn't cut off his balls.
Dude, for real.
She's a crazy bitch.
For real. Like, you better watch it. She might come swing a fucking club at you for saying that shit.
When she walks in the room, that song, "Hey, you a crazy bitch." Yeah, that song comes on when she walks in the room.
Hey, he knew what he was getting into.
He did. So, let's go ahead and move on. Another big thing happened this week. The Heisman was announced Saturday. And the winner is quarterback. No, you thought I was going to say Deshaun Watson. No, it wasn't Deshaun Watson, unfortunately. It was Lamar Jackson from Louisville.
Man, fuck Lamar Jackson. You know what? I hate that motherfucking punk ass. He's just a cocky motherfucker. He's always bitching and whining when he don't get his way on the fucking sidelines. Bitching and whining at the refs. It just, ESPN heralds him as this great fucking thing. And I'm just, fuck it. Fuck him. And you know what? Just fuck that motherfucker.
Well, you gonna diss me, boy. Diss me to my face.
Oh, I fucking will, you asshole.
And, that's also has to do a lot with the rival, too, with Louisville and Clemson. Louisville talking all that shit about coming in and handling Clemson, and Lamar Jackson was going to run all over him, all this and
Disrespect
that.
us in our house, motherfuckers. Disrespect us in our house.
And we saw exactly what happened there.
Yeah, we did.
It was bad. In case you guys didn't miss it, it was an ass whooping.
It wasn't bad for us. It was bad for you Louisville assholes.
So Lamar Jackson got 2,144 of the votes. Quarterback Deshaun Watson finished second from Clemson with 1,524, which kind of surprised me a little bit. I expected to be a lot closer. I figured Lamar Jackson have around 2,000, maybe Deshaun have about 1,800. Be real close between the two because the stats between the two were really close this year, and I thought that, honestly, in my opinion, I thought Deshaun Watson should have won it.
This shit's a fucking circus and clown show. Yeah.
They've done studies, 60% of the time, it works every time. That does make sense.
Exactly. Just like the fucking Heisman. Doesn't make sense. I mean, I get it. He put up the numbers, but I'm going to give you some numbers. How the fuck do you have a guy on a 9-3 ball team being the Heisman? Yeah, I mean, he might have been the MVP to his team. This son of a bitch isn't even playing in the playoffs. He didn't even play in his fucking conference title game. You are a sorry asshole, and you are just being hoisted up by ESPN and all their fucking conglomerates because y'all assholes just do not like fucking Clemson. You do not like Dabo. You do not like Deshaun. We all know why. I'm not even going to get on the soapbox, but we all fucking know why you don't like them. And all I got to say to y'all is fuck you and your committee, because I see Deshaun Watson being the best quarterback in college football last 2 years. He's probably going to get another shot at another national title. And even Nick Saban said he was the best goddamn quarterback in college football. And he's supposed to be fucking Mr. fucking Universe, God of all fucking things, NCAA. And if the great Nick fucking Saban even says so, well then by God there must be some truth to it. But you know what? Go suck his dick some more. Go ahead and give him his Heisman. Y'all go fucking back to your little Heisman house. Go sit up there with fucking all your little trophies. Just fuck all of you.
And
go
now,
fuck yourselves.
And I don't know about you. I'm just from what you just said. Hold on. By what you just said, I'm hoping that whoever Louisville's playing in the bowl game, they whoop the shit out of them.
LSU's going to beat y'all's asses in your bowl game, and I hope Herschel Walker bitch slaps you. I do. You hear that, Lamar? I hope Herschel Walker gives you one of those 5,000 push-ups a day, right to the mouth, just right to the mouth. As soon as you talk back, right to the mouth.
And I'm telling you, did you hear? I don't know if you watched it or not, but did you hear Lamar Jackson when he got up there and spoke?
I don't even want to hear nothing he has to
He sounded
say.
uneducated.
He probably
He
did.
sounded like dumb as a doornail. Oh my God, my teammates. He just sounded uneducated. I mean, he really did. He just sounded dumb as the day is long.
And that's sad, and that's highly unfortunate, because Deshaun, when he speaks, actually sounds like God gifted him a brain. Oh, I said God. ESPN's going to come after me now. They ain't going to give me a Heisman. Or watch out.
ESPN can suck my balls.
Seriously. ESPN, you used to be the best thing ever because y'all were just sports, and you were the escape from the bullshit, and now you are the bullshit.
All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the rest of the way the Heisman finished out. We had back-to-back Oklahoma at 3-4. Baker Mayfield, quarterback from Oklahoma, got 361 votes. And wide receiver D.D. Westbrook from Oklahoma got 209. And then last, running up, is linebacker from Michigan, Jabril Peppers.
That was actually a pretty good lineup. I had heard that the top three were going to be Deshaun, Baker, and Lamar, with Lamar going to probably run away with it. And they got that right, because all three of them, by the by, had really good years. It's up for debate how good, but I also have a thing called the eye test. You can have all these stats, but are you playing in the playoffs? No, you're not. You're going to be playing LSU. And you know what? I really hope LSU beats y'all's ass, because then it really delegitimizes that Heisman that much more. And you know what? LSU's got a really stout defense, and it wouldn't shock me if they sack his ass 3 or 4 times that game.
Oh yeah, I definitely think LSU is going to come in and dominate this game.
Someone could say badass, $50 over under 3 sacks for LSU in their bowl game. I'm going over, and I'll put 50 on it. I would, because their D line's that good. They're that damn good.
All right, so that was the Heisman that happened Saturday. Earlier in the week, they had the rest of the college football awards given out. Deshaun Watson did win the Davy O'Brien Award. Reuben Foster from Alabama won the Dick Butkus Award. Jim Thorpe Award went to Adoree Jackson from USC. Jake Butt from Michigan won the John Mackey Award. Deshaun also won the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award, which is pretty special.
It is, and he's deserving of it.
Also, just to let you know, Brent Venables won the Frank Broyles Award for Clemson, and Jabril Peppers did the Lot Impact Trophy and the Paul Horning Award.
All these awards were properly placed. I think it's about time Venables won the Broyles Award. I mean, that's honestly, I thought he was going to get it last year, and he didn't. And it was shocking because he is one of the best defensive coordinators in the country. Because every year he loses a lot of players to the draft. Everyone says he's not going to be able to keep it up, and he keeps it up. You know,
He does.
The man's name might as well be Intense Venables. I mean, this son of a bitch is nothing but raw energy.
I watched that last game with Clemson. Him on the sideline just jumping all around and just so much energy. And I was like, holy shit, this guy is
two guys may get paid like $60,000 a year just to hold him off the sideline. Like, what do you do for a living, son? I just hold Venables back. What? I just hold him back, dog. That's all I do. I gotta hold my man back. You get paid $60,000 a year just to hold somebody. Yeah, I gotta hold him back. I mean, he's for dude's a fucking animal, man.
I'm telling you, buddy, him jumping around on the sideline the way he did, it looked like he did like a bunch of blow before the game, and he's just like, zing, 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 let's go, let's go, let's go. Ah, I mean, that's what he looks like to me on the sidelines.
I mean, honestly, yeah, maybe if you were to inject his blood into you, it'd be like doing cocaine. I mean, maybe he has his pure coke running through his system. He doesn't know it.
Maybe. Also, 2 other awards I wanted to talk about. Lamar Jackson won the Maxwell Award, and he also won the Walter Camp Award.
Not shocking.
I mean, that's just pretty much them kissing Lamar Jackson's ass a little more.
I mean, as if they didn't kiss it enough already. They just be like, They're just going to line up to kiss it some more.
We're going to give you the Heisman. Oh, you know what? We're also going to give you the Maxwell Award. And another one.
They just got to make sure. They want to make sure everybody knows that he's the little starlet.
All right, so we had one game last week. I want to get into it. It was an upset. And it was history in the making, I think.
It was. It really was.
It was Army defeated Navy 21-17.
Give them that one again right quick, Burger. Tell them it's...
Army beat Navy 21-17.
Seriously, Navy? Y'all ain't lost to them since George Bush was president and 9/11 happened. Let that sink in for a second. There are people in high school now that are sophomores that have never seen you lose to Army. There are people right now going to Navy that went to middle school, high school, and their collegiate careers ain't never seen you lose. And you lost. And I have to give a shout out to my boss man. Boss man, if you're out there listening, you called it. You called it weeks ago. You said it was going to happen. I said you were out of your fucking mind. Obviously, we didn't use that kind of language at work, but you know what I mean. I thought that you were just absolutely crazy. I was like, ain't no way. I mean, I kind of feel like I owe you 5 guys, even though we didn't bet on it. For real, man.
I mean, an Army jumped out to a quick 14-0 lead at halftime.
Oh, I know. It was...
And Navy didn't look like they were going to do anything. And then in the third quarter, they came back. They got a touchdown. They kicked a field goal to make it 14-10. And then they went ahead of them. They got ahead 17-7 14.
And it looked like it was going to be old
And it
school.
looked like Navy was going to hold out and they're going to come back and win the game. And then with 6 minutes to go, Ahmad Bradshaw from Army scored on a 9-yard run to put Army ahead and seal the victory.
Something that they have not tasted up there at West Point. Them Knights, Black Knights, have not had that in a while. I know that victory was sweet. And I know that Annapolis probably fucking cried. God, I can't imagine how bad that was for Navy.
I mean,
could you imagine how sad Annapolis was the next day?
Oh, yeah. I mean, think about it. Look what happened the week before.
I mean, I wonder if it really sank
They
in.
lost to Temple.
Yeah.
And then after you lose to Temple, they come out and one of the biggest games of the
You
year.
get your ass kicked by your rival.
And you get beat by Army, who hasn't won in 15 years. Sad times over there.
Sad times in the Bay Bridge area. Aren't you glad you're not up there anymore?
I am glad I'm not up there anymore. Jesus Christ. I mean, that's just horrible. There's probably people on suicide watch up there.
That ain't no joke.
No, seriously. There's probably
There probably was somebody that actually wanted to off themselves.
Oh, man, that's horrible. We shouldn't joke about that, but... one of the other big things from this game was a farewell of sorts. Kind of a celebration. 76-year-old Vern Lundquist broadcasted his last game ever in sports.
And you know what? It's kind of sad to see Vern go because Vern's one of the good ones.
He's the original.
He is.
He's the original OG.
Yeah, and it's sad to see him go because he's one of the only guys I actually enjoyed listening to that called games because, my God, look, you get Jesse Palmer and Kirk Herbstreit and all these fucking asshats these days. They're not any good. They're not old school. They're not, I mean, even Brent Musburger's starting to slip. But at least he's OG.
But he's going to be gone soon, too.
And that's sad. And then what happened in Bob Costas, as much as I disagree with a lot of shit he says, he's an original. And Al Michaels, these dudes are going to be gone soon.
Yeah.
And then it's left to the likes of Jerk Herbsmeat and Jesse Palmer and Pollock. I mean, at least Pollock's all
Stephen
right.
A. Smith.
Oh, don't fuck Stephen A. Smith. Jesus.
I'm not going to get you started. I'm not going to get you wound up again.
They're all disappearing on us, man. All the legends are disappearing.
I mean, think about it. I know you don't like him, but Dickie V's going to be going soon.
And that Dickie V, I might not like him, but he's a legend. Like, it's going to be sad when, yeah, I want to suck some Duke dick, baby, yeah. I mean, it's going to be fucking, you're going to miss that.
You are. You're going to miss it a lot. Madden's going to be going. Berman's going to be going. I mean, these are big names.
I'm not going to lie. I won't miss Berman.
No.
Back.
Boom.
Back. No, I'm not going to miss Berman.
Boom.
Yeah, I'm not going to miss him.
He could go all the way.
No, I'm not going to miss
You're not gonna miss that?
No, I'm not going to miss Berman.
Oh, man.
We'll have to agree to disagree on Berman.
Yeah, I love Berman. I'm a big Berman guy.
I was sad when Bob Lay went.
Yeah, definitely.
That was shitty. So, I mean, all these legends are dying and going away, and now we're left with the shit. I mean, no offense, Lindsay Zarniak, or whatever the fuck your bird-ass name is. You look like a fucking pterodactyl. I'm not impressed with any of your new age people. Plus, all y'all are a bunch of fucking millennial trash ass anyway. Fucking dicks.
So, last week we only had the one game to pick from. We were 0-1 for the week, which was totally horrible.
Oh, God. I don't even want to talk about how bad. I mean, 0-1 to start out was just...
Oh, no! We suck again!
Yeah, we do.
And that's not a good way to go into the bowl games at all.
No, you can't start on a loss, but we already have. But at least it's not a bowl game yet.
Yeah, it's not a bowl game.
We're still 0-0 in there.
Yeah, we're still 0-0 in bowl games, but not a good way to go into the bowl games because it's like the Friday night games that we pick. Sometimes we have one or two games, and we go in and we lose one of those games or two of those games. It just sets the tone for the week.
Yeah, because when you start winning, it does. You get going with the momentum, but when you keep losing, it's just, oh my God. It doesn't seem to stop. Snowball effect.
Oh, it definitely. So, last thing we have to do in our show for the week is we have 9 bowl games to pick from this week. It's officially bowl season. Bowl season starts Saturday. We have 6 games on Saturday, 1 on Monday, 1 on Tuesday, and then 1 on Wednesday. So we have pretty much a full schedule, except for Sunday, of course, because Sunday's the NFL day. So on Saturday we have 6 games. We have the first one is the Celebration Bowl. NC Central versus Grambling. Grambling is at minus 15.5.
Grambling is a big-time favorite in this game. North Carolina Central is right up I-85, about 400 miles. They're a small shit nothing school, man. I mean, they're nobody.
So you would say probably Grambling is just a better school here.
Yeah, they're probably gonna pitch a shutout. I don't think North Carolina Central's even gonna score.
Wow, not even a field goal.
Maybe. I don't think they're gonna hit the end zone.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and take Grambling at minus 15.5. All right, next game we have New Mexico. Sorry, I have a frog in my throat. New Mexico Bowl. We have University of Texas San Antonio versus New Mexico. New Mexico is minus 7.
This is one of those games where you don't know a whole lot about either team. They're both really shit schools, and every time they go up against somebody bigger and better than them, they get completely hammered. But this is one of those things where do you have faith in the road team to cover, are they going to upset the favorite? Because a lot of people that I've been talking to about these early bowl games are saying that a lot of the favorites up front should be slated to win. Like a lot of the favorites up front should be winning these games. And it's one of those things where I know neither of these schools are football schools. Neither of these teams have elite blue chip squad. They don't have any of that. So it's just two teams lining up playing, and it's going to come down to who's going to execute better. And I think Vegas, if I'm not mistaken, has the same line
So you're
as
saying
we do.
So you're thinking it's gonna be a shootout?
No, because the over/under is planted at 59.
That's pretty high.
And no, high is like 75
70, yeah.
and above. Because
I mean, it's not high, but it's up there.
they got New Mexico as a 7.5 point favorite. And it
So we're
opened.
about where we're at right now with 7.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can cover that. I mean, a lot of Vegas casinos usually flex on a lot of things. This one is across the board, 7.5.
And I mean, the University of Texas San Antonio, they're not a big school.
No.
Like you said, they're not a big school, but New Mexico isn't a big school. Like, it's not, the Alabama, Tennessee,
But at least it's a
Clemson.
state school.
But it's a school that I have heard of and would be comfortable enough to say that I think New Mexico could definitely beat University of Texas San Antonio by more than 7.
I know New Mexico's got a good basketball program.
They do. That's about all I know about New Mexico. They
For
have,
real.
they have a good basketball squad. Football squad's not too bad.
I know that's where Breaking Bad was supposed to be taking place.
Really?
Yeah, Albuquerque.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Duke City, Albuquerque, New Mexico, bro.
Huh. It's an interesting little fact. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take New Mexico at minus 7. Next game, we have the Las Vegas Bowl. We have Houston at minus 3.5 versus San Diego State. And this kind of surprised me a little bit that Houston's only being favored by minus 3.5. And yes, I know people are going to say they've had an up and down season. They started off the season being one of the favorites, possibly going into the playoffs. Now they're playing in the Las Vegas Bowl against San Diego State.
And their coach is leaving them.
And their coach is leaving them.
And they know it.
And they know it.
So do they go out and give them one final good game?
Win one for the Gipper.
Or do they just say, fuck it, we don't care?
See, that's tough to call.
It is.
And it really is, because that's what's going to be tough about a lot of these bowl games is squads that have people that are going to be leaving. I mean, there's 17 schools that had coaching changes. And I bet 10 of the 17 are probably playing bowl games.
Well, that is, yeah, no, you have a point about that. I do. I don't like the fact that it is such a low spread, but most of the casinos have -4.
I mean, in hindsight, you would look at Houston and you would say, Houston should beat San Diego State by more than 3.5.
I think they're going to beat them by a touchdown. I'm comfortable with that.
Yeah, I mean, Houston is the better team, but like you said, are they going to come out and win one for the Gipper and come out and kick their ass, or are they going to come out and play like shit and be like, oh, well, you're not our coach anymore. We're not going to listen to you.
I think they're going to play for themselves, and they'll win.
By more than 3.5.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so the next bowl game, badass. Looking at these bowl games, I have to agree with you, what you said last week. This is just shit bowls.
Yeah, these are
Seriously. This is ridiculous. The Cure Bowl, Arkansas State versus Central Florida. Central Florida at -6. And I don't know. I'll be completely honest. I don't know much about either one of these squads.
I know that Central Florida's a better squad than Arkansas State. I know that much. I know that they have better talent. Because Arkansas State, who the fuck are they recruiting out in the middle of bumfuck Egypt and cousin fuck Arkansas? You know what I mean? You ain't recruiting nobody there.
But one of the big problems with Central Florida is nobody's really going to want to go to Central Florida because look at the schools all around them. Florida State, Miami.
I'll take their rejects
USF.
over Arkansas's best.
Really?
I'll take Florida's rejects over Arkansas's best any day.
Wow.
Not to mention the fact that Central Florida is a 5-point favorite in Vegas. 5.5 in most casinos.
They're right around where we're at.
Right
-6.
Yeah,
So you really think Central Florida will be all right taking it -6?
I do.
All right, we'll go ahead and take Central Florida -6. Even though I'm still thinking Arkansas State's going to win this game by a touchdown.
Ooh.
No?
No.
I'll tell you, I know you can't see us, but if you saw Badass's face, that was one of the ugliest faces I've ever seen. His whole face is puckered up. Looked like he was going to suck his whole face in.
Bitter beer face.
All right, so our next bowl game, we have the Camellia Bowl. Camellia? Is that right? Camellia?
Yeah.
Camellia Bowl. Appalachian State versus Toledo in a pick'em.
It's funny, too, because you think that Appalachian State would be favored, but they're not. In Vegas, Toledo opened as a -2.5-point favorite, and they're holding most casinos -1 Toledo, and the other ones it's a pick'em. I like Appalachian State to win this game. I know that squad.
I've known that squad too. I've seen them pull upsets,
and they're good.
And Toledo's not really an upset. Let's get real.
Right.
Toledo's not an upset, but Appalachian State
should handily
beat them. And I'm surprised that this is a pick'em.
Me too.
I figured at least give them maybe 7, even 6 maybe. I mean, hell, they're giving Central Florida -6 versus Arkansas State.
I know. Some of these lines there are funny.
It's weird. But we'll go ahead and take Appalachian State in a pick'em over Toledo. All right, our next game is the good old New Orleans Bowl.
You know how much I love Nolans.
I love New Orleans.
Yes. You know how much I love them.
I'm telling you. And we actually have 2 Southern teams playing in New Orleans Bowls. We have Southern Mississippi State versus Louisiana Lafayette. Our boys, the Raging Cajuns. And South Mississippi is actually -3.5 in this game.
Did you say Raging Cajuns? So this is like an all Southern bowl.
It's an all Southern Bowl. The Raging Cajuns versus Southern Miss.
Oh my God! Sorry guys, but I got to do this to you here.
Bobby, it's me, your daddy, Roberto. Daddy? You know, I seen you on the ESPN when they were talking about you being drafted by the NFL.
All I can say is you're probably going to hear a lot of that going on down there.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm liking the Raging Cajuns. I know we picked them a couple weeks ago, and they did us good. They covered for us. I'm liking the Raging Cajuns beating Southern Miss by 3.5.
I like them for the upset too. I'm not gonna lie. I know Southern Miss is the favorite, and they probably will win the game. But something also tells me those Raging Cajuns,
They're a feisty bunch.
they are, man. They're like their fucking food. They're They're fiery, man. I like the Raging Cajuns. We're gonna go with them for the upset. It's a night game too. Oh fuck yeah!
Oh yeah, it's 9
a
o'clock
night
game.
Oh god, night game down. Oh yeah, go.
people tailgating all day.
Go with the Raging Cajuns. It's a night game in fucking Louisiana. Absolutely.
Their fans gonna be fired up because hell, their names are the Raging Cajuns. Their fans gonna be fired up.
Dude, no, I can tell you this is going to be a good game. I actually might watch that game. I'm going to be off from work. I'll be chilling. I actually think I might watch that one.
All right, so the next game we have is Monday, December 19th. It's the Miami Beach Bowl. We have Central Michigan versus Tulsa. Tulsa is at -12.
They are the huge favorite because whereas Western Michigan is badass and has been taking names, Central and Eastern Michigan have been taking losses because they just suck outright. I mean, they always have sucked. And the over-under is way up there for these two shit teams at 69, and Tulsa is a 13-point favorite. They're expecting an ass whipping, and they're expecting Tulsa to be handing it out.
And I definitely think Tulsa is good enough to beat Central Michigan.
Yeah.
I mean, you really look at it, again, when you look at Michigan, players that go to that play in Michigan at high school, they want to go to Michigan.
Michigan State.
They want to go to Michigan State. They want to go Western Michigan. They might travel a little bit, go to Ohio State. They're not going to Central Michigan to play. They're not going to play at East Michigan. They're not playing either one of those schools.
No, and Tulsa actually has a natural recruiting base, and where they are, at least they can recruit good players out of Oklahoma, Texas. I believe they have the better program. They're going to have the better recruits and talent.
I mean, they get the hand-me-downs over there at Tulsa, but some of them aren't bad players.
Well, not only that, I just don't have it. I think you could spot Central Michigan 19, 20 points. I don't think it would matter. I really don't.
All right, so our next bowl game, and we're right on that for Tulsa at -12, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because Tulsa's a 13-point favorite in Vegas, so yeah.
All right, so our next bowl game is Tuesday, December 20th. It's a Boca Raton Bowl. Memphis versus Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky is -4 in favorite in this game.
They opened at -7 as a favorite. They fell to -4.5 across the board. Over-under is at 79, so they're expecting this to be a pretty good game and a shootout. I like Memphis for the upset.
Really?
I don't know why. I like Memphis for the upset, and I don't know why. I can't explain it.
Memphis is another one of those teams that they're a basketball squad, not a football squad.
No, but that's where you're wrong. They've been getting better in Memphis. In fact,
You've been watching Memphis late at night when I've been asleep.
I can tell you this. Do you know where Virginia Tech's coach came from before he got to Virginia Tech? Justin Fuente. Do you know where he was?
Let me guess. Memphis?
There you go.
Huh.
Correct.
Interesting.
Yeah, and they got some recruits there. They got some talent.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and take Memphis for the upset against Western Kentucky. In our last game of the night, it's our boys, the BYU Mormons versus Wyoming.
Our Mormons.
BYU is -8.5.
I don't care what it is. I'm not going against the Mormons. I've done it one time and I lost. Every other time I won. I'm not going against them.
Plus, it's Wyoming.
Exactly. It's not Utah.
It's not Utah. It's Wyoming.
Yeah.
Wyoming sucks.
I like BYU in this one. I'm not going against them.
I mean, they could have gave BYU 14. I would have definitely took BYU.
Yeah, I'm not going against them. I'm just not going to do it.
All right, so we're taking BYU at -8.5. So we have the Celebration Bowl. We're taking Grambling at -15.5. New Mexico Bowl. We're taking New Mexico at -7. Las Vegas Bowl. We're taking Houston at -3.5. The Cure Bowl. We're taking Central Florida at -6. The Camellia Bowl. We're taking Appalachian State over Toledo and a pick'em. The New Orleans Bowl. We're taking Louisiana Lafayette over Southern Miss, and that's a -3.5. The Miami Bowl, we're taking Tulsa over Central Michigan, -12. And the Boca Raton Bowl, we're taking Memphis versus over Western Kentucky at -4. And the Bocetta Bowl, we're taking our Mormons at -8.5 over Wyoming.
Hey, is that the picks in?
That's officially in. We're officially done. Hold on a minute. Let me hit the button. Yep, we are officially in.
All right, we're in.
We are in now. So that is going to do it for this week. We're going to be back next Wednesday to do more games. And as this is going on, before the show, me and Badass were looking at the bowl games. These next couple weeks are going to be hot and heavy.
Yeah, they're actually going to start heating up. And as the show progresses, as the bowl season progresses, we're going to start getting into the hot, heavier matchups. We're going to have much more to talk about because I'll be quite honest with you, nobody cares about a lot of these beginning games. So there's not a whole lot of research to do on them because no one gives a shit. But when we start getting into the good games, we're going to start breaking it down. We're actually going to give you matchups. We're going to give you what receiver needs to look out for what corner. We're going to give you why this middle linebacker is going to be all up in this quarterback's face. We got all that. Believe me, don't hesitate to think that we don't know what we're talking about here. We're just going to save the juicy shit for later because why blow your load all at once?
Yeah. I mean, that's true.
Hold on, what's the story? I do believe it's the young bull says to the old bull, let's run down there and fuck one of those cows. And the old bull looks at the young bull and says, we ain't got to run nowhere. We're just going to walk down there and we're going to fuck them all.
Yep, exactly.
So that's what we're going to do.
So the next couple of weeks, we actually have a lot going on. We have 16 games next week. And then the week after is like 14 or 15 games. And then after that, we have our big games that are coming up after that. Our championship bowl games. We have a lot of the big name bowl games coming up. You know, LSU, playing Louisville.
My personal favorite's going to be the Rose Bowl. I
can't wait for that one.
The Rose Bowl. I think me and Boss Man are going to bet on that one.
I would definitely bet on that. How about the Miami-West Virginia game?
Honestly, I think West Virginia's taking that one. If he wants to go double up, we'll go double up. Because he wants to take USC, I think, and I'm going to take Penn State.
Tracy, take Miami. If you're listening right now, take Miami and then take Penn State.
No. He wants USC.
Oh, take USC? I'm sorry.
Let him have Miami. I'll take West Virginia. No
take
problem.
Miami and take USC, Tracy. If you're listening, take Miami, take USC. If you guys do the points, then take the points. If not, then just do it straight up. Definitely you're going to win.
Shit. All I can say is I've been taking some Five Guys in lately, and I'll take in some more.
How many winning streaks are you at now?
I don't know.
Three or four?
A couple weeks. Well, we didn't go this last week as Christmas coming up and everything. We got to take a break from our extracurricular gamblings. But no, I'm pretty hot here recently. Pretty hot.
All right, guys.
Victory meat's been fucking good.
Oh, I bet. Like I said, we're definitely going to get the show up here very shortly. I have the whole show edited and everything from last week. After this is done, I'm going to go on and edit this show. Hopefully have them up next day or two. Remember, go to Facebook, Burger and Badass Show at Facebook.com.
And remember, we're not Vegas guys.
We're just two guys from South Carolina.
Making our picks.
Doing what we love.
That's it.
No bunkum, no bullshit. Just straight up, we're doing our picks. We give your opinion on what we think about stuff. If you like it, then great. If not, hate on us because we like that too.
The way we see it is this. We're not the same cookie cutter, blah, blah, blah bullshit that you get on the radio. You're going to hear some raw opinions. You're going to hear some shit you're not going to like. And you know what? Deal with it because that's what life's about. All my little snowflakes out there, y'all can just come on with that hate because I'm ready for you. It ain't going to bother me one bit. Believe me, shit makes my teeth whiter in the morning. If you actually knew me and the people around me, they'd tell you that is not a lie. So all I can say is give us some feedback. You like it? Cool. You don't? Awesome. Let us know either way because we're just two regular guys. We're two working class dudes. We're not this fucking fancy shit limousine riding, fucking credit card having in Vegas, calling in there, getting guaranteed picks, laying action here. But we don't do that. That's not our thing.
So that's gonna be it for us this week. We'll be back next week. Wednesday night we do our show. Usually around between 9 and 10. We're now closing later at my work, so we have to do the show a little later now because of that. We had to revamp a little bit, but you know, we're gonna be back doing this each week, letting you guys listen to us. Give back your opinions. And remember, We're just two guys from South Carolina doing our picks, doing what we love. So that's going to be it for us this week. We'll see you guys next week, episode 13. And for Burger and Badass, I'll see you guys next week. Badass, you have anything to add?
Cue the music.